Wow. I went all that time with my mic off again. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that. I might as well just start over. Golly, I wasn't going to go live because I just, I wasn't really feeling it. And then now I know why, because I was going to leave my mic off. Good grief. All right. Anyway, let me retrace here what I was doing. All right. So what did I talk about? For how many minutes? 5 minutes? That is so stupid. All right. Let me get back over here to my notes. I should just start this stream over. But anyway, I will just start here. I'll just, maybe I won't be able to edit it, but I might be able to fix it. I don't know. We'll see. So I said, what's up, savages? Hope you're all doing well and bought enough in the year-long bear market to make you happy today. But I said that, we kind of pulled back a little bit. It looks like it, 10,600. We did cross 11,000 earlier this morning, I believe. But yeah, so my mind is like kind of off right now because I went all that time with the mic off again. But if you've been a subscriber for a while, you can see that this channel is evolving a little bit. I used to do random coin mining shows every weeknight, and I've kind of transitioned to, I did transition. It got kind of to the point to where it wasn't good because we were covering these really bad projects that had no potential, and it was just kind of, it was bad. It got really monotonous and really, it was just bad all the way around. So I kind of abandoned that, and I started doing, I would pick 2 or 3 projects that I was interested in, and I would do like a Twitter poll. And that's why I brought up Twitter earlier. So you have to follow me on Twitter because that's the way that we interact and figure out what we're going to actually mine that night if we're doing that type of show. I don't always do it, but I try to do it as frequently as possible. Sometimes I'll just do a video on something random, but I try to go live every night. So, try to keep things going, even if I forget to turn my mic on, but I'm still live. So follow me on Twitter so that we can participate in that and interact and all that stuff. I started doing the 3 projects. We do that. Then I kind of got to where I wanted to, what I was thinking about doing was actually taking a project, one that I'm interested in, obviously, and going and doing a video a stream each night on that project. Like maybe we could mine, we could do like a Monday of, hey, this is what the project is about, and then Tuesday we would do maybe how to mine it on a specific platform like Hive OS and AMD or NVIDIA and Simple Mining or whatever. And I thought that might be kind of cool to do it that way and just do basically like a whole week. And then I started thinking about it even more, and it looks like maybe we could just do, because this time frame, this time zone right here seems to be pretty good for a lot of different people. So 2 to 3, I said time zone, but I meant because of the different time zones, this time frame from 2 to 3 p.m., 3 p.m. starting time for me seems to be pretty good. And, more people can get in here and actually, watch the stream and stuff. So I think that maybe I might try to do Saturdays for a while, and I'm going to use that top 10 list that you saw right before I found out that my mic was off. But I'll start with AION, and I think I don't know how far I got. I don't know when I turn the mic back on. But it looks like this, just to show you again real quick. So AION was the first one, and then we're just going to go down through the line, I suppose, unless this list changes, and it can. But this is just my top 10. It's not. I'm not telling you to mine it or buy it or anything like that. This is not financial or mining advice in any way. I'm just showing you what I'm interested in and what I'm mining or looking at or whatever. So we're going to start with AION, and as you can see, I showed you guys this earlier, but I have quite a few AION videos on my channel. They go all the way back several months. I think this one was all the way 7 months ago, and it's got 1.3K views. So that's, and what I was saying was that that's pretty good for me. So check these videos out. There are some more recent ones. I mean, this is only a week ago. I did some AION stuff last week, so check those out if you're interested in AION type material or content. And let me check the chat, make sure everything's good. I think what I'll have to do is, that's probably the problem. That is the problem, is I try to get going on the stream and I don't check the chat until after. So maybe what I'll do, and maybe that's why a lot of YouTubers do that, because they want to make sure that their mic's on and stuff like that. So they'll actually, you'll see them ask in the chat, does everything sound all right? Is everything good? And then check right before they get started. I'm going to start doing that, or at least checking to make sure that, I've got like a console over here that kind of shows me, and normally I look at it and make sure that, the audio looks like it's going out, and for whatever reason I didn't this time. So anyway, so we'll get into that. I'll probably start doing that. What's up, Red Panda? Thanks for sticking around even though my mic was off for a while there. So we are going to be talking about AION today, and I'm going to turn my mic, or not my mic, my video, my camera's off. You'd be doing yourself a disservice to say that AION is just another cryptocurrency. I'm going to go to their website here real quick. They are so much more than that. If you've been watching me a while, you know how I feel about projects that don't bring anything new or unique to the table. If you're solving a problem that has already been solved, or you're trying to solve a problem that doesn't even exist, you are not going to get any love from me at all, right? Well, with AION, in its simplest terms, it's not one of those projects that I just described that doesn't bring anything to the table. In simplest terms, it's blockchain 3.0, and it aims to create a protocol that connects all other blockchains, as well as becoming the platform for the creation of new ones. And one of the things that they figured out early on was that mainstream adoption of blockchains is limited because of the scalability, privacy, and interoperability challenges. Especially given the fact that there are so many different blockchain technologies nowadays, and for most part, all are separate, stovepiped projects that don't communicate very well with one another. So if you think about, whenever I first started looking at AION, it was more, honestly, you kind of look at a project and you start thinking about, especially early on, you're thinking about it being a currency, because most projects back then were, right? But they figured it out early on that, look, this is the currency thing that's been done. We have a token, and we're going to use that token on our network, but that's not going to be our focus. It's not going to be like, hey, we're going to be the next global currency, right? Just like a lot of projects do. This is basically a platform for like it says right there, a platform for building decentralized applications, and that's one of their primary focuses, right? And it's also to allow developers an easy platform to use also, and we'll get into that in a little bit. AION is the first multi-tier blockchain network designed to tackle those issues of interoperability and privacy and scalability, all that adoption stuff. And it also acts as a dApps support system. And people hear that right now, and of course there are many, many, many other dApps support systems out there. So how does AION actually differ when compared to those other projects? In addition to the basic information flow, the AION network will pass logic and value, currency basically, bridging differing blockchains to create an end-to-end value chain where every transaction occurs on the chain. A simple example, and I did this in my video, my original AION video way back when, but a simple example is, imagine sending Bitcoin to a person's Ethereum address or Ethereum to a person's Monero address without going through an exchange yourself. So that is like one of the little things. Now, obviously, if you know anything about AION, that's not what their main goal is, but it is something that could be developed on top of their platform. So just keep that in mind. That capability could be developed where everything happens that way seamlessly through censorship-resistant distributed applications working across software bridges built by developers on the AION platform. These software bridges could even be incentivized with AION tokens or other crypto. And to help facilitate these efforts, this is something that they've done recently, or released recently. Now, in order to facilitate those efforts while simultaneously reaching 9 million developers like instantly, AION and the team led by Jeff Disher released the AION virtual machine on June 5th, just a few weeks ago. The fact that they use the existing Java virtual machine is important. They built AION virtual machine on top of Java virtual machine, or to use it, without modifying it. So it's not like a custom version of the Java virtual machine. It is the original. And since they did that, they slung open the doors for millions of devs to start building smart contracts and other blockchain applications on top of AION in a language that they already know. And I believe that, if I understand correctly, that is the first of its kind. And I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure. And something else that's being developed and should be realized this fall is Unity. Unity affects us miners. This is kind of important to people in the mining community. And what Unity is a hybrid proof-of-work, proof-of-stake consensus algorithm that will be implemented to help secure the network through that standard proof-of-work method, and also provide economic security through proof-of-stake. A side effect may also be increased throughput due to the extra computing power brought on by proof-of-stake. If I'm understanding it correctly, that is probably going to be the case. And Unity may also present a lower entry barrier for users who want to participate in the AION network, because instead of having to purchase like expensive mining rigs and hardware and things like that, they'll be able to just purchase and stake coins, which are available on many different exchanges and all that. So that is cool for us miners. Unity is probably going to be okay. There's some people that like proof of stake, some people that don't. I kind of view it as kind of a progression, for what AION is wanting to accomplish. Being Web 3.0 and all that stuff. I think it's probably an important aspect of it. AION is working to make the user experience as simple as possible through some really great partnerships. One way that they're doing that is through, I played around with it today. It was not a good thing, but one way that they're doing that is through Sarin Labs Pocket ID. It used to be called Token ID, I think. Pocket ID creates an easier way. Let me go to their website real quick. It creates an easier way for users to be able to get started using blockchain decentralized applications on mobile and web platforms. So their goal is to make dApps more accessible. And this is just one of the partners that are building on top of the AION network. And I wanted to bring this up too right here. A lot of people probably think that we're further along and we're actually innovators. And I said this, man, it's been at the end of last year, I think, I was still saying this, is that we haven't even started. I mean, we're still below 1.5% of the global population as far as being involved in crypto, right? And we aren't even innovators. We're like way earlier than innovators. And I don't mean like I'm not a developer, so I'm not saying that I'm developing things. I'm just saying just being in the community by itself, just that aspect of it, is way earlier. It's not even, you can see right here, it's not even early adopters. We're before that. We're at this little point way over here, So I mean, some people I guess would put us in an innovators category, but I don't know, man. 1.5%. I think we're way down here somewhere. So I like this little graphic. Late majority, no idea. Our moms, no hope. That kind of thing. So, this is where it's going to get really interesting right here. We're going to talk about that a little bit later too. So yeah, in Pocket ID, this particular application that's built on AION, I think it kind of highlights some of the aspects of what AION is trying to do, along with some of the implementations of Web 3.0 and things like that. So it's important, and I think it's a good example. You shouldn't really make technology harder for end users just because it's complicated for the devs. You know what I mean? Like the user shouldn't have to spend a whole entire day just figuring out how to create a logon, for your system or whatever. So it should be easy, even easier than popular social media platforms. Because if you are progressing, then things should be easier, not as easy or harder, right? So that's just kind of the way I look at it. I don't know. Check it out. It is cool. I did download their app. It's a wallet, and there's other things involved in it. But I think I want to say it's possible, because I had a problem. I had a logon problem, which is kind of funny that I'm talking about it because I'm sitting there talking about it being easy. But I think that the problem is actually that I might have signed up a while back under whenever it was token ID or whatever it was before. I think it was token ID. I might have actually signed up back then, so I might have some kind of weird thing going on with trying to do 2 accounts or something. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I did email them. I haven't heard back yet, so I'll figure out what's going on with that. I was going to actually show you guys, but I'm not going to be able to. But Pocket ID allows you to log on to any app with a tap, and that's basically their little catchphrase. And that's what their mobile wallet says, and it should enable the ability to send and receive money with just your phone number, basically is what you're looking at. And currently Pocket ID only works with dApps built on AION, but they plan on supporting dApps built on Ethereum next month. I think it says down here somewhere. Maybe not. But yeah, it's something to check out. Some other companies that are working with AION are Veritransfer. And I'm just highlighting a couple of these just because, just to show you that there are, partners and things like that are working on AION and building on top of AION. And Veritransfer is just basically private and secure firearm ownership and transfers. Not a registry. That's one of the things that people would say that it is, but it's not, because you're in control of your own data, your own documentation and stuff. So that is kind of cool. Blockchain firearms ownership and transfer application. Another one is BlockX. They're developers, and they build on top of AION as well. And that's at the application layer. And they also have another company called Velocia. I want to say I talked about all these in my original video too. And I can tell you that just looking at it, it seems like all of them are progressing along really well, because whenever I first looked at their websites, I was like, I don't know, and now it's like, wow, they got some pretty decent interface here and stuff, so kind of neat. Velocia has to do with rewards for transit apps. It looks like it's mostly around cities. It's based in like a city. If you use shared bikes and car sharing and things like that, you can earn rewards, I guess is what this is about. I don't live in a city that way, so this is like New York, I guess, would be a good example, but where I live, it's so spread out that you don't really have these types of services, I guess you could say. but just to highlight some of the partners that they have. What's going on in the chat over here? Y'all are just blabbing, talking about stuff. That's good. Earlier I mentioned AION. Let me get back to their website here. I mentioned AION being blockchain 3.0, and I'm referring to a blockchain platform developed with Web 3.0 in mind. And some of you, I mean, if you're not in the tech, and if you're not, which I'm sure all of you are. I mean, if you're watching this kind of stuff, but what in the world is Web 3.0? What am I talking about? And if you didn't already know, all right, this is my little rant here, but if you didn't already know, we have a problem. And by we, I mean all of us internet users. We are very much so over-connected by business-owned applications competing for our attention in an advertisement and engagement-based model. So they are literally enslaving us and making us pawns in a game to control us and move us and our thoughts in directions we may not even want to go. We over the years, with the 2 decades of internet, we have literally lost control of our own attention and have been described as we have even been described as backseat passengers in our own lives. I mean, these companies we connect with weaponize social and psychology sciences against us, to make us want to use their services and want to pick up that device and all that stuff. I mean, this is what makes us pick up our phones every few seconds when we aren't already glued to a computer, And if I feel like if we don't do something pretty quick, we're going to lose our individual freedom, and that's where Web 3.0 kind of comes in. Web 1.0, if you want to kind of think about it in terms of what was available then, Web 1.0, you got to think about Alta Vista and Netscape, and some of that is way before anything that you guys have ever heard. But the Netscape was a browser. Alta Vista was a search engine. And another way, a simple way of thinking about Web 1.0 would be to just think of it as read-only mode. So it was basically just a website presenting you with information. It could be an advertisement for a product or whatever, and if you wanted that product, you would have to go to the store to buy it, right? That was basically Web 2.0. I'm sorry, Web 1.0. Web 2.0 turned it into more of a read-write. It was more democratic. You had things like YouTube and Instagram that came out, and it gave the users aren't just viewing, right? They're actually commenting and posting and interacting and things like that. And that was basically what Web 2.0 was. And then now we're kind of transitioning. We're in this transition phase to Web 3.0, where we're going to be using artificial intelligence, smart algorithms, and the thing about Web 3.0 is, and you're kind of seeing this, but it has to be ubiquitous. It has to be from everywhere, right? You have to be able to access it from everywhere. And the cool thing about what's actually happening a little bit faster now is that it's using cryptography and decentralized network designs in order to implement all this capabilities, right? It's also using tokenized assets, right? And you see this with Ravencoin, and even AION has the capability of these, digitizing assets, basically, of tokens. Since it's not fully implemented yet, though, it's really hard to think about what it's going to be like. Some people say that we're already at 3.0. I don't think so. I think that we're just kind of getting started. But it's just imagine if you want to kind of think about what it's going to be like. And this is where I kind of went on a rant about the whole privacy thing, and how businesses are weaponizing our own information against us, and weaponizing science against us, psychology and things like that, to make us want to view their service or whatever it is, and you can just insert any social media platform right there, boom, and it's the same thing. So just imagine being able to, if you want to think about Web 3.0, imagine being able to prove your identity without involving a third party, right? So that sounds like blockchain technology, right? But in this case, your identity is going to include your account balance, whatever that is at that point, right? It could be Bitcoin, it could be whatever. It offers the ability to pay for merchandise anywhere in the world from that one single place. Everything is kept private and controlled only by you. So you could give someone, imagine having so much control over your private information that, let's say you go to the doctor. The doctor doesn't have that information, right? They don't store it because, they're going to lose it or they're going to get hacked or whatever, right? So you own that data, but you can give them, for example, this is just one of the things that they could implement. You could give them a key, right, or the ability to actually look into your data, your medical history or whatever it is. I mean, it's literally like, and your imagination is the limit kind of thing here. But I think that the goal should be for us to reclaim control over our data. That's what I think the actual goal should be. And I'm hoping that that's all the developers, I hope that that's what their mindset is, that's what they're looking at. Because I think that it's something that I think a lot about, about privacy and being able to control my own data. So you will own your own information instead of some company, and we're watching Web 3.0 develop right in front of our eyes. Like I gave some examples earlier. We have lots of different versions of this magic internet money. We have lots of different versions, but they all work globally across borders, and they can't be censored, right? We have a distributed storage system also that's called IPFS, or Interplanetary File System. You're starting to see some projects start to use that even more. Ravencoin uses it. There are other projects that are starting to use it as well. And IPFS can support, silly things like a picture all the way up to websites, right? I think there's projects that are using it for websites. Doesn't Ether One? I think that they were doing that. So yeah, there's all kinds of different capabilities. I mentioned Alta Vista and Netscape earlier. We even have now, in this next generation of internet technologies, we have the Brave browser, or we have browsers, not just Brave, but we have browsers like Brave that are disrupting this normal advertisement engagement model and flipping that around and paying you for your attention, right? So if you give attention to a website or an ad or whatever, then you could actually get currency for that, right? So I think that's one of those things that all those things combined will help develop, and we're watching this happen right in front of our eyes, and I think it's going to be a little bit faster than people think. You're kind of seeing that now with Facebook, the Libra and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit sooner than later whenever a lot of this stuff gets implemented. But we, as a community, we have to drive this. We have to want to take control of our privacy. We have to, because it's one of those things like once you lose it, you'll never get it back without completely disconnecting, right? And even then, all the stuff that's out there already exists. So I don't know. I can go on and on about that type of stuff. Anyway, let's see. Back to AION. AION Network is the most accessible blockchain platform in the world, and they do this by enabling developers to build production-grade Java applications on a blockchain network. The AION network prides itself on transparency, and I think that they were even the first project that I know of to normally and regularly release financial statements. And they also do Ask Me Anythings and all that kind of stuff too. So they're out there, they're being super transparent, and I like that in a project for sure. And the AION, overall overarching goals to address all these unsolved questions of scalability and privacy and security. So I'm going to check the chat here real quick. Yep, got to get off Facebook. That's for sure. I struggle with it. I do. I struggle with not being connected. And I know it's kind of silly to be on YouTube and connecting with you guys and talking about being over connected. I get it. But, you know, I really, it drives me crazy how addicting my cell phone is. I hate it, and I last night on purpose, I let the battery run down. I left the phone at home. I went out and got something to eat. I didn't even think about my phone or anything. I didn't wish I had it with me or anything. So I'm trying to wean myself off of it because I can see it being a real problem. It is literally an addiction. And I'm not saying I am addicted to it, because I'm really not. Because every time I do it, I am fully aware of what I'm doing. I even say it. I'm like, I think to myself, like, man, I've got to put this thing down, but it's how it's so strange, it's how we interact nowadays. It's addicting, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. They got us, all these companies that I talked about earlier, they got us. Yeah, in the same way, I'm bad with cell phones and my PC. I ain't gonna lie, I've been, at this computer for 6 hours now, 5 hours now, just looking at stuff and going over everything. And I've been super busy all morning looking at stuff like this. But anyway, I don't know what else you guys want to talk about. I could go over some mining stuff with AION, or we could just chat about other stuff for a few more minutes. Talk about where the market's going. I was glad to see ETH get over 300. That was cool. Sonia, I think, I haven't formed like an official opinion about it just yet, but I can tell you this, it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought that it was going to be, and I'm referring to Libra, I thought that Libra was going to be, hey, what's up, Matt? I thought that Libra was going to be like another, like a JPM coin kind of thing, or, and my mind's going blank here, but there was another one that came out that was kind of like a fake cryptocurrency kind of thing. Anyway, I thought that that's what it was going to be, but reading the white paper, if they implement things exactly like the white paper says, then it will eventually be. Now, this is all speculation, right? There's no telling what this is going to be whenever they actually release it. It's not. It's just on testnet or whatever. But I thought originally that there was no way that they were going to make it open for developers, that they were going to let people develop on top of it, or that they were going to let anybody else run a node or anything like that. And apparently that's not the case. Apparently it will eventually be open source. Well, it is open source, but it will eventually be to where you can develop applications on top of it. I think that's important, that supposedly the Calibra wallet is going to be completely separate. Okay, that's probably not going to be true. I would assume that there's going to be some connection there, because there's some weird wording in the user agreement or whatever the policy is there, with how information is going to be shared between the Calibra wallet and Facebook, right? And this is where it gets crazy, because there's Facebook and then all those partners, right? They're going to have 100 partners, and those partners are going to be able, and I say partners, I mean the people running the nodes. There's going to be like 100 of them. I think that's their goal, is to get 100. There's like 27 right now. And those people running the nodes are going to be able to look at the data, and that is the trade-off, right? And that whole economic part of it, I'm not really a fan of. But as far as it being an actual cryptocurrency, it does seem like it is. And originally I was not thinking it was. I was thinking it was just going to be like this, like Facebook credits from a few years back, you know. That's kind of what I thought it was, but it actually is looking like it's going to be a cryptocurrency. And it's actually going to have according to what I understand, it's going to have there's going to be two currencies, and one will be actually volatile compared to the Libra. I can't remember what they called it, but I think it had a name. But let's see, Sonia, you want the Libra white paper? Okay, I think I can probably find that. Maybe. Yeah, so I mean, I've read through this, and it definitely seems like somewhat legit crypto, which is kind of weird. Yeah, Matt, you know, it's a stable coin. It's going to be based on they call it a basket of cryptocurrencies, or a basket of currencies, international currencies. They list them with exactly which ones are going to be in there at first, but it's going to have, you know, it's going to be pegged to some type of stable asset, right? And so, and another thing that I thought early on that changed my opinion a little bit was that early on I was thinking that it would never be on an exchange. It was going to only be on, you know, its own network and all that stuff. yeah, Matt, pegged. That's what I was thinking. And whenever I saw that it was going to be listed on exchanges and things like that, I kind of changed my mind a little bit about it. I think that it's probably going to be a good thing. You know, there's some that think that it won't have any impact on whether people look into cryptocurrencies and things like that. I think it will. You know, I think it'll have some impact. I'm not going to say it's going to be a lot, but I think that it will have some. And I like what people are saying too, because Libra is not a threat to something like Bitcoin. That's too, yeah, I'm not a Libra shield, man, come on. That's too simple. It honestly, it is more of a threat to the dollar. And you see that already, because you've got, now they're going to, you know, they're calling, the legislators are calling for, you know, moratorium on development of Libra. Right? I mean, think about that. You don't see like they're not saying anything like that about Bitcoin, right? So, I mean, they talk about, you know, banning cryptocurrencies, but I mean, come on, you know, it's not possible. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to end up being a pretty good thing. We kind of see that in the market. I don't know if it, you know, I actually tweeted about that. I was like, you know, I wonder if Libra gets any credit for this at all. You know, I think you got to give them some credit. I personally, I don't know that many people, but I do have people asking me now about, hey, weren't you doing like some cryptocurrency mining stuff or something like that, you know? And yeah, so, you know, even I am being asked stuff about it by people that I just know, not in the crypto community, you know, at all, but. So, yeah, cool stuff. I don't know. That wasn't a really good, you know, opinion on Libra overall. I probably should put all my thoughts on paper so that I can actually talk about it without my massive ADD taking over and my mind wandering while I'm in mid sentence here. Anyway. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good thing in the end. I do. So I guess I got to go and watch Matt's video from yesterday. I didn't get any kind of notification or anything, Matt. What's up with that? No, I don't. It's just a random video or something. Just to keep your channel from being deactivated or something. I'll have to check it out. All right, well, we have been going for about 45 minutes. I think I'm going to get out of here and just do something else the rest of the day and probably not even look at my phone and not look at this Coin 360. And yeah, I might go outside and do something. Maybe go to the pool or something. Oh, you made $5? I haven't made anything yet. You're big ballin'. Yeah, it was good that you stopped in, Matt. It's been a while. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys later. Maybe I'll do. I mean, I didn't do any mining stuff on AION. I just kind of blabbed about what it was and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll look into doing more AION videos next week or something. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a Libra video too. You never know. Look at XRP. XRP's like at 47. That's not bad. Didn't they hit like 50 or 51 earlier too? XRP to the moon. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping in and all that stuff. You guys are awesome. Stay savage.